I'm Lori McCarthy, and this is our island, the island of Newfoundland, and I can't wait to share it with you. From nature to the table, this is East Coast Forager. Today I'm getting ready to head off to the Outfitters Camp. There's always something special about venturing just a little bit further than you usually go, with the purpose of making a special meal in a very special place. And today, I'm going to do just that. I have some beautiful trout that I'm going to cook up with some vegetables. I have some bacon, some farro that I already have cooked. I'm not exactly sure what else I'm going to add to the dish, so we'll see what I come across when I go out looking for some fresh ingredients. It's a beautiful day, so I'm going to take the kayak out on the water to get there. There's something to be said about being out on the water and feeling that breeze against your face. It's kind of funny, when you go out in the woods or out in the nature, and I always wonder why I don't do it more. But when you get there, you quickly remember how much it's always worth the effort. There's nothing quite like foraging in these special places where it's very likely that you're the only one to have ever foraged on this particular piece of land. So you want to just pick the fresh new growth on the top of the plant, which have that white fuzzy underside on the leaves, while the older ones are more orange underneath. The young leaves will give us a more pungent flavor than the older ones will for our dish. Always worth the trip. First steps first. Get a bit of wood cut. Get a feed on the go. Now the fire's going. I think first off I'll get the beets in the oven. I'm going to roast off some of them. Roast off those onions, get a really nice caramelization on them. No flavor like the flavor of vegetables done in the fire. So get them wrapped up in some foil, stick those in. Those will take a little bit. Get the trout roasted up. So here we go. I'm going to leave the peel on the red onions. I love red onions. They're a little bit sweeter. And these guys are going to go right in the fire. Just going to wait to get a little bit of coals on the go, and then I'll just throw that right in. Makes a beautiful char, dandy flavor. What I want to do is put get those beets in a bit of foil and pop them right in on the coals. So I'm going to cut them a little bit smaller, just so that they cook a little bit faster. These are beautiful color beets. Oh yeah. So this would have been last year's spruce tips. This time of year I find I'm always trying to use up what I have so that as all the new spring growth starts coming out, I can start playing with it again. There we go, stick them in there. So I'm gonna start off with a bit of bacon because, I don't know, let's face it, most things are best cooked in bacon. And this is just to put a bit of flavor on the farro that I got there. Got some really nice bacon fat. Now, just a few shallots on the go. You're cooking out like this, I think a lot of the beauty is that it's not about a fancy cut. I'm gonna put some garlic in. I always put garlic in a little bit later because what I don't want is, I don't want to burn the garlic. So a little squat makes the paper really easy to pull right off. Now, let's get this trout on the go. Now, these are some beautiful trout, caught in the pond. So just a light dust of flour. So these have all been gutted, and once they're, always gut them before I freeze them. Now, I'm gonna put a bit of oil in first because I'm just based on the temperature of that pan, and same thing if you're cooking home. A little bit of oil first always keeps your butter from burning. And I love the butter, so in goes the butter. There we go. So here we go. Let's get some nice trout in. Oh yeah. And a little bit of fur would be nice actually with this. I'm gonna pop out actually and get a little bit of fur. Nice. So this is a fir tree. This is a fir, and easy to tell the difference between a spruce and a fir. The fir needles can't be whirled between your fingers because the needles are flat. However, on a spruce tree, if you pick a spruce needle, you'll be able to twirl it between your fingers. It makes a fantastic salt. I usually will do a really nice mix in the spring of the year with all the new growth and keep it, all year round in the fridge. Grind it really well with salt and I get a lovely flavor that I can use all year. I am going to just take some of the needles off it. I can pick this all year and make a nice little salt with it. And I just do about a 50-50 mix. I'm not particular about it, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna put this onion in. And put this one right in on the coals. That looks grand. I'm gonna put a little bit of this salt on these now and save a little bit to finish with. The heat will cook the fur a little bit and lessen the flavor, but then at the end, I'll just give it a little extra salt just to, so you get that real freshness on the herbs themselves. All right, we got some farro in there, heating up. And like I said, that's already cooked, so that just takes, you're just heating that up. And the bacon and the garlic, and there's some shallots in there. All right, I'm gonna say we're ready to plate this up. Oh yeah, those beets are gorgeous. And there you go. Just gonna finish with a little bit of that fir salt again for the last little bit of flavor. We always compare these wild flavors to things we already know, but there's something really nice about that. Make a little cup of Labrador tea. I never go without it if it's there. Now you don't boil your leaves in the water itself. You always just steep them in after your water's boiled. Labrador tea can release a toxin, can be upsetting to some people's stomachs. So I like to give it a little, just like you would any fresh herb. You see anyone making a cocktail, at a bar, it's giving those mint leaves a little slap and just to release some of that flavor. And then though we, a nice cup of tea going. Oh yeah, nice. All right, let's go have a meal. Oh no, this is not a bad view for a bite to eat. There's nothing like a cup of tea in the woods. Oh, I can't wait for the fresh Labrador leaves to come out. This is really lovely, but the fresh ones, when they first come out, they're amazing. There's no better place to have a feed of fish now than sat back in the woods, the view of the pond. I guess it's something that you don't ever get tired of. And I think it's almost, it's a privilege today to be able to eat the foods that come from the land and the sea, and to have them prepared a little bit different sometimes is also really fun. So there you have it. It's a lovely meal. Thank you so much.